Guys, it's Easter Sunday. I'm so excited. Okay. Raise your hand if you like the Easter Bunny. Okay. Raise your hand if you like Easter candy. Maybe two hands. I love Easter so much. I'm wearing my Easter dress. I see you in your Easter dress. Let's see. Oh, I see some Easter button-down shirts. That's very nice. Ooh, some of you are in Easter pajamas. Those look very comfy. Whatever you're wearing is okay. There's one more thing that I like about Easter, and it's this story I'm about to tell you. Okay, if you made some of these eggs, some resurrection eggs, pause the video and go get them and come right back. If you didn't make them, that's okay, because you can make them later today. You've got all day. Okay, I'm gonna tell you the best Easter story, and I'm gonna use my eggs. All right, I'm gonna open my first egg. See what's in here. Can you see that? It's a little donkey. Okay, so our Easter story starts with a donkey. So back in Jesus's time, you guys, kings and important people would ride into town on a donkey. And that's exactly what Jesus did. So he rode into town on a donkey, and everybody was so excited to see him. I'll put our little donkey right there. So not everyone was excited to see Jesus. There was one person who was pretending to be excited. He wasn't happy at all about Jesus, and his name was Judas Iscariot. Well, some other men hated Jesus so much that they gave Judas coins. They gave him money to turn Jesus into them because they wanted to kill him. Here's my next egg. I have a cup in here. So Jesus and his 12 disciples, disciple is another word for a friend of Jesus, who he also taught. Jesus prepared a special meal to have with them. During the meal, Jesus stood up and held out a cup and gave everyone a drink. He then said something that was kind of confusing, and it was hard for them to understand. He said that the wine in the cup was his blood. He didn't mean it was his actual blood. It was a symbol of his blood. He wanted them to remember that special night for a very long time. My next egg is orange. I have hands in mine. These are praying hands. So after dinner with his disciples, Jesus went to a garden, and his disciples went too. And he had his disciples go off and pray. And Jesus spoke with God, and he prayed. And he was really superty-duperty dog sad, because he knew that he was about to have to die, and he knew it was going to be really hard. So he was sad. Next egg is green. Has this in it. This is a whip. So when Jesus finished praying in the garden, the men who wanted to kill Jesus found him, and they took him prisoner. They used a whip, and they whipped Jesus. They hit him really hard, and it really, really hurt. The thing to remember is that Jesus hadn't done anything wrong, but he let them hurt him because he knew that that's what he had to do to save us all. Next one. It's this pretty fancy circle. This is a crown of thorns. So after Jesus had been hit with that whip, the soldiers took branches with spiky thorns, and they made them in a circle like this, like a crown, and they shoved it really hard onto Jesus's head, and it super hurt. Now we know that because Jesus was the Son of God, he could have stopped them from hurting him anytime he wanted to, but he didn't, because he knew that he needed to take the punishment for all of our sins. Sin is another word for a mistake. Here's my next egg. This is a nail. It's a nail because they use nails right through Jesus's hands to nail him to a cross. and it must have hurt a whole lot. And Jesus died just a few hours later. But again, Jesus was way stronger than all of those soldiers, and he could have stopped them if he'd wanted to, but he knew that he had to die. It was part of God's plan for us. My next egg is lime green. What color is yours? This is a dice. Now, I've been playing a lot of games with dice. Dice are usually something really, really fun. Raise your hand if you played a dice game this week. I played so many. Well, while Jesus was dying on the cross, some men were using this dice not in a nice way. They weren't playing a fun game. They were rolling the dice to see who would get Jesus's clothes. It was very, very unkind. But Jesus was also dying for their sins. So while they were playing that game, Jesus prayed, "Father, forgive them. They don't even know what they're doing." There's my dice. Next egg is purple. It's a spear. So there were two robbers, and they died on the cross, on crosses right next to Jesus. So when the soldiers came to check on all three of those people, they pierced Jesus with a spear. It means they poked him really hard to make sure he was dead. And that's one of the ways that we know for sure Jesus really did die that day on the cross. Okay, we only have 3 more, you guys. Here's my next one. It's blue. It has a piece of cloth. So after Jesus died, a man named Joseph, who believed that Jesus really was the Son of God, he came and he wanted to give Jesus a proper burial. And in Jesus's time, they wrapped people up in cloth to bury them. So Joseph knew that this might get him in trouble, but he asked for Jesus's body anyway. And he did wrap it in cloth and he put it in a tomb. The tomb is like a little bitty, kind of a shallow cave where he put Jesus's body. I'm gonna put it under my dice so it doesn't blow away in the wind. Okay, ooh, this is a heavy one. It's a rock. Can you see my rock? Well, so then Jesus's body was in a cave and they put a stone in front of it, but I'll tell you what, it was a lot bigger than this stone. I want you to picture a car, your mom or dad or grandma's car, the biggest car you can think of. Just picture it in your mind, picture it in your mind. That's about how big the rock was in front of the cave where Jesus's body was. It was huge. Nobody could have moved that rock away. Okay, it's our last egg. It's the surprise ending, you guys. You aren't gonna believe this. Do you remember that rock that you pictured in your head, how big it was? It was as big as your mom's minivan. Do you remember? Oh my goodness gracious. So 2 women came to that cave where Jesus's body was. That rock was rolled away in Jesus's tomb. The cave was totally empty. There was an angel there though, and we know there had to be an angel to move that rock because nobody else could have done it. And the angel told the women that Jesus was risen. He died for all of our sins, and he rose up to be with God. So that is the best Easter story, but you have some jobs to do, my friends. So now you have all of your eggs, or you should make them this afternoon. You have all of your eggs. So I want you to do something for me, okay? Can you do it? Let me see you nod. Yes, I can do it. Good. Okay, here's what you're gonna do. I want you to take your eggs and I want you to tell this story 3 times. You could tell your little brother or your little sister, but don't let them eat your pieces. You could tell your big brother or your big sister or your mom and your dad or your grandma and your grandpa. You can use a video camera like we're using right now. You can find someone to tell maybe who's never even heard this story before. That would be amazing. I want you to use your pieces and tell this story at least 3 times, but as many times as you can before the day is through. And then I want your mom and your dad to report to me how many times you told this story. I cannot wait to hear. And I bet when we get back to church, there will be some coins involved, friendship kids. All right, happy Easter, friends.